I gave you an extra week to work on this latest episode. Now, I don't know if you were capping when you told me that the World Table Tennis Championship was airing at the same time of the Hell's Paradise premieres. So by the grace of God, you were given an extra week to cook something up worth remembering. Now, the question is, did you cook up something as good as a meal from a 3 Michelin star restaurant? The answer is no, but you came pretty damn close. I can tell that the chef put in some soul, but was unfortunately lacking the necessary ingredients to complete the meal. Episode 8 of Hell's Paradise contains one of my favorite fights in the series. To me, it represents the moment when the audience realizes that the criminals and executioners are going to have to band together to fight and defeat the immortal beings of this island. The futile struggle that Tenza puts up against an overwhelming enemy is distressing for us to watch, knowing that this fledgling wicker of a flame is about to be snuffed out before he's given a chance to set his heart ablaze. The anime, to my surprise, went above and beyond to provide additional character information that was much needed for individuals who wouldn't be spending that much time with us. The combination of brief intervals of good animation, a memorable soundtrack, and compelling voice actors fused together to easily become one of the best episodes of Season 1 so far. With that fight now put to rest, we can focus on the second major fight, Gabimaru vs. Zujin. This fight is also a great introduction to the conflict that's going to present itself to the audience for not only highlighting the dangers of the Lord Tensen, but also their capabilities and limits that we have previously not been able to see through the short-lived Tenza fight. Tenza's fight hit its skill ceiling as he had no other skill or ability that could help him go beyond the simple slicing and dicing. We know that at this point, regardless of how many times you cut, the regeneration stamina of a Lord Tensen is larger than the stamina of an individual capable of cutting, at least for any ordinary human. Gabimaru, on the other hand, is a more mystical warrior, with abilities that are able to push a Lord Tensen to the point of beating the first phase of their battle. Perhaps Tenza's battle did manage to play a role in whittling down Zujin's Tan reservoirs. What we do know now is that aside from the rapid regeneration all Tensen seemingly have, they also have a unique ability to concentrate energy in a golden energy like ki blasts. The Gabimaru vs. Zujin fight shows us how durable the best ninja in this series is, and how fragile the Lord Tensen bodies are. If it wasn't for their constant regeneration, the bodies would buckle from the overwhelming pressure of their enemies, seeing as how Tenza with full stamina could have probably finished a fight quickly based on his swordsmanship speed. We also know that one of our previous theories of setting vegetation on fire proved false, seeing as how Gabimaru's ascetic blade was not able to burn the bodies of the Tensen down to their core. Zujin is seemingly unfazed as his body was able to stand up after being set on fire and rejuvenating his lost flesh and skin. However, if the fire is unable to work, there is hope that Gabimaru can harness the power of the unique golden light as he did for a few mere seconds, and provided a crippling blow against Zujin's stomach. The golden light is still a mystery on how to utilize it, but we can come to certain conclusions based on who's using it. We know that Mei is fully capable of using the golden light either as an offensive or defensive form of energy, as seen as when she shot a barrel of it into Gabimaru through a punch, and when she used it as a shield to protect him. Similarly, the Tensen are capable of harnessing this power into specific points, like when the blonde Tensen used the golden light to crack Chobei's war axe, or when Zujin used the golden light to shoot some golden bullets into Tenza's chest. The problem is, how does Gabimaru actually utilize this ability, even after only using it for a split second? When fighting against Zujin, Gabimaru used it reflexively. One would assume that the main character is able to draw out some latent power after going through emotional distress, but Gabimaru merely only uses it in passing. Our answer to this issue is Mei. Mei can be considered an ally as we know that she has some connection to the Lord Tensen through the golden light abilities. So far in Hell's Paradise, radiant colors are all associated with the island, and de facto the Lord Tensen. The current surviving executioners and criminals all have had muted colors. Mei's vibrant pink holds a key to some secret we probably don't know yet. Before we talk about the introduction of the key antagonists of this series, we need to talk about the very near future, the ending of Season 1. If I'm correct, we have about 3 more episodes left, which actually doesn't leave us a lot of wiggle room for what I might assume the first trailers of Hell's Paradise are trying to showcase. I assume, and I'll try to be as non-spoilery as possible, that Season 1 will end on a major fight against one of the 7 of the Lord Tensen, at least based on the first trailer for Hell's Paradise, which has cuts of the actual fight in it. We may be in for some scene displacement. For the purposes to quell my interest, I reread parts of the manga and realized that there's simply too much in between now and that fight that they showed in the trailer. I'm going to assume that Mappa will be moving certain scenes towards the beginning of Season 2 in order to highlight a cliffhanger. My thoughts are also focused on the introduction of the character Shugen possibly being seen as the last scene of Season 1. This movement of events that are being slightly shifted don't match the manga, but I would argue are placed pretty well. For one, the Tenza and Zujin fight happens right in between the scenes where Gabimaru and the gang are getting a nice hot bath. Such scenes being together in one episode would be tonally different and wouldn't be right if they were split into 2 episodes because the event itself would lose interest. The issue here is that there will be several scuffles between the final fight of the first season and the Gabimaru vs. Zujin fight we just finished watching, meaning that the animators will have ample time to draw slice-of-life scenes and focus hopefully on the big final battle. Hopefully this is the plan of the B team and they'll try their best with what they have. While we're on the topic of animation, I did like the Gabimaru and Zujin fight, but have noticed a constant trend throughout this anime. If you have heard my complaints in earlier videos, you'll notice that Mappa is choosing which scenes to animate well and which to give the, let's say, filler episode treatment. The majority of the Gabimaru vs. Zujin fight was animated as any other low-budget fight scene. It's nothing stellar, but passes as animation. However, you would expect more from Mappa. I think it's becoming demonstrably obvious that the weight of other shows is starting to buckle Mappa's capability, and I think I can now fully say that Mappa should either consider giving this anime to another animation studio who will dedicate the time and resources, or rather animate Season 2 after Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen's second season are completed. Of course, there will be other projects floating around with Hell's Paradise, but it really deserved more. Like, you look at a fight in Vinland Saga currently, and you understand that the A-Team is clearly working on this. Detail is poured into specific shots in fight scenes within Hell's Paradise, but is given filler animation before and after. I think the most embarrassing moment in the fight was when Zujin was throwing these golden energy blasts at Gabimaru. It just didn't look great, it looked really lazy, and I think the majority of the audience is in agreement. If Demon Slayer, a relatively standard manga series, is elevated through Ufotable's animation, then Hell's Paradise and Mappa are also completely capable of the same situation. The problem is when the animation can't carry you over the finish line, you have to rely on voice actors and soundtracks, and those elements are capable of only so much by themselves. For the time being, I will be complacent with the animation until the next season. I won't really expect much, which is a horrible way of putting it, but I think this is the only way for me to really enjoy the anime without just constantly saying, look at what could have been. So that is my position for the time being. Back to my earlier point, the Lord Tensen have finally made their debut as the antagonistic group of Hell's Paradise. They all have their own respective colors, but so far haven't been given time to really cement their identities, which is fine. This was just the beginning opening. We know that Zujin hates having to fight so many difficult strangers on the island. The blonde Tensen is the more aggressive member of the group, and the pink Tensen is the more flirty, carefree member of the group. The 3 other Tensen haven't really established much about themselves. Then we finally see the purple Tensen, the seemingly leader of this group of immortal beings. As the leader introduces himself, he states that they shouldn't be harming one another as their family. Wait. Family? You're all family? Surely that's metaphorical, right? Right? Oh lord. More importantly, in this scene, we finally get to see the ambrosic nectar of the gods, the elixir of life, 10. As we theorize, this golden drink is the fuel source of each Tensen that is the reason why they can regenerate so much. Even if this is our first scene with the members, I'm happy we were finally able to see them as they command a strong presence when we focus on any one of them. It's also after meeting these individuals that more questions pop up in our heads. These individuals are bordering the realm of gods, more so akin to godlike. So why is there so many artificial constructs of gods on the island? We can assume that the otherworldly creatures and structures are all artificial, not natural. So what was the purpose of creating those creatures? I think this episode did a great job at introducing our main antagonists and how they all have intriguing views on sex and which form to take. I think that's all I have to say for now, as the scene placement may change in the future related to the manga, and our Season 1 may be looking different from what I thought might happen. If you're a new viewer to the channel, then consider subscribing. If you're a returning viewer, then go ahead and leave a like. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you in the next episode. Take care.